All right, so now we're gonna talk about traditions. You know, we're all coming from different cultures here, obviously, and we're all tied to certain traditions that come with that culture. So, anybody want to elaborate a little bit more about some of their traditions? We can start. Let's start with the Haitian traditions. Patrick.
Tradition. I mean, there's a tradition. In 3 weeks, we're gonna wake up on January 1st, waiting for one thing.
Pumpkin soup.
The pumpkin soup. Like soup jour. I mean, every January 1st, because that's the hangover soup, also we call it. Because
But do you know where it comes from?
wait,
Now that's something else. It's deeper than. It's not January 1st as far as a New Year's meal.
well, it's for the independence.
It's for the
The
independence.
independence,
Because we're also
independence.
declared our independence on January 1st.
On January 1st, because we're also the first black independent country. You know, so,
The colt, the horse. I
exactly. So,
understand.
and then we help multiple countries gain also the independence, even Venezuela, Colombia, you know. So, but as for a tradition, we have our January 1st tradition. We gotta have that pumpkin soup. If I don't have it, I'm having the year started is not starting well for us. I mean, if you're Haitian and not having that soup, the year is not starting well for us. And then we also have a lot of time our Sunday tradition because from Monday to Friday everyone works, and every Sunday everyone is looking for a place to go eat. It's either grandma house, grandpa house, wherever. So that's also a big tradition where we go somewhere to eat, or everyone brings something, something that we cooked. That's a very
And here we go, going back to food.
I mean, it's one of the tradition, and but eating on a table that was a tradition. Grew up
Eating as a family.
as a family. It's a must. That's how we get punished for our etiquette, which knife to hold and all that stuff, and always have daddy's always sitting and. You know, and then we know don't ever sit there because that's daddy's seat. If we sit there, you know what happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Tradition, we love our meat. Gotta have again. I'll go back to food again.
Everything is talking about food, eating,
Gotta
and
have the
everything.
rice and beans in there.
Christina, anything that stands out in terms of like tradition?
Well, definitely
Your
food, but I won't go there. But, I guess for me, something I always look forward to when I went to Japan was every year, because my grandma lived in Japan, so I always looked forward to, it was like a candlelight ceremony that we did. So we did this once a year, and so when it got dark out, we would light candles and then wish them away. They were on like balloons, and we would wish them away.
Nice.
To bless our ancestors and just to remember our ancestry, because it's very important to I guess our elders are very important in Japan, so just to bless them and just kind of acknowledge them. So that was always something I enjoyed doing.
And that's part also, I think that's where like the Asian culture is very respectful. I think that's probably where it comes from also. Paying respect to our ancestors is something that's super important. Because of them, we're here. So it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
But that part of a culture with the lighting of the candles and the balloons and stuff, is it more so of an Asian culture? Because I've heard of that in Thailand, in Korea. Is that true?
I think it is an Asian culture. I think it just comes from like the Buddhist religion of just like respecting elders and acknowledging and thanking them, and just to remember them, that they're here with us, but to just wish them well.
What about bowing down, like bowing to people? Is that something that you guys do to respect elders?
Yeah, and that's almost like a tradition that happens nowadays too. It's not just like something that, or like an old-fashioned thing. Like we don't shake hands in Japan, and that's a big thing. Like when we greet, it's always bowing, but it's just the culture.
Yeah, it's similar for me as well. It's kind of like a curtsy, where you kind of bend your knees and do that whenever you're greeting instead of shaking the hand. And even when you're serving food, you have to kind of like get down almost on your knees and then put the plate in front of the person. It's like a form of respect, and just to present the food in a respectful way, so to speak. Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, I know of the French culture, for example, with the kissing thing. Like, not only kissing, but kissing on both cheeks.
Yeah.
So we kind of like inherited that a little bit in the Haitian culture, because in the Haitian culture we get a little bit of, you know, the French, the Spanish, you know, the American. So we get a little bit of everything. But the kissing thing for me, you know, in France is something that kind of like, okay, so they greet each other even if you don't know each other by kissing each other, and more often than not, two sides.
Yeah.
And in the Asian culture is bowing is different.
It's just like
And shaking hands, is it disrespectful? I've heard it's kind of disrespectful, right?
it's just like non-existent, I guess.
Maybe it's unsanitary.
Maybe, yeah, right? It's
Maybe.
definitely.
The practical
Yeah.
side.
But yeah, definitely. Like my grandma, because she lived with us for about 3 years in America, and so she was so used to like bowing, but then the Americans, it's like handshaking, so it was always like totally different culture greetings, I guess. So.
Yeah, in America, you don't even hand, shake
It's
anybody.
just,
Yeah.
it's completely different.
What about you, Vista?
Ok, cada región tiene una tradición, un mito diferente. Voy a aprovechar de que estamos en el mes de diciembre para hablar de lo que es en general la tradición de Venezuela y volviendo a la comida.
Yeah, again.
Food.
Okay. En Venezuela tenemos la tradición de en Navidad reunirnos en familia para la preparación de los platos navideños. En este caso viene siendo la yaca. Ese plato requiere de varios procedimientos y es una tradición que se reúne a toda la familia y a cada persona se le asigna una tarea en la preparación. Luego se coloca música, el género se llama gaitas, todos bailan, toman una bebida que se llama ponche crema, tiene alcohol. Sí, y si alguien de la familia no asiste a la preparación, suelen decir, ok, no vas a comer yaca. Esa es la tradición, una de las tradiciones más bonitas que tiene nuestro país en este mes. Hacemos la preparación de esa comida, pero así juntos en familia.
That's interesting. So it's very festive type of culture, especially during the holiday season.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What about you, Robert?
Well, obviously in native culture, it's about the sacredity of animals and plants. So, I mean, we understand that plants are more alive than people realize. So, if you're gonna take a plant, ask permission to pick the plant, ask permission to cut it or trim it or do whatever. You have to speak to the plant. Even with animals, before you kill the animal, thank the animal for its sacrifice. Thank, the animal for lending its vibration and energy to you. That's on the native side. In the Moorish American culture, we don't shake hands either. We do what we call a hand press. So when you meet people and they do that, we don't do that. We just it's a firm press. You just stay still. There's no shaking.
Oh.
We don't shake hands. It's just that. It's just a press. We call it the press of friendship, and we just press. That's all we do. We don't do that. It's weird to us. So you'll see Moorish America, we press hands. When we greet each other, it's not a kiss, but it's more of a right, left, right to the cheek. So we cheek to cheek, so we'll go right, left, right cheek. If you ever see Moorish Americans, we'll press, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3, cheek to cheek.
So you guys do 3.
3. So it's like 1, 2, 3. But we don't kiss. It's just more of a cheek,
Yeah,
cheek to cheek.
yeah.
So, but you'll see us do that. That's tradition. For Moorish Americans, Friday is Holy Day. So you'll see Moorish Americans in our full garb. You'll see me in this. This is called a fez. You'll see a lot of us wearing this or turbans or other native headdresses and national headdresses and things like that. So those are the main traditions that you'll see us partake in.
And that's interesting because I can already imagine here, especially here in Miami,
Right.
People not having any idea of what this represents.
Right.
You could be from anywhere,
Right.
and what are some of the reactions that you get?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you see this, a lot of people associate this with Masons and Shriners.
Okay.
So, you see the Masons and Shriners wearing this. And a lot of them are Europeans, and a lot of them, they're just emulating, what they've learned from us in ancient times. So, this is our national headdress. It represents a lot of things. It represents the womb. You have the tassel that goes 360 degrees, which represents the sun. It represents woman because all of us come from woman. So you have the navel, the nativity that connects you back to your, so there's signs and symbols in everything we do. There's a reason for everything we do. So people see this, they say, oh, what is that hat? Or I seen a Mason wearing that before. Well, it's called a fez, and this is our national religious headdress. So.
Interesting. Yeah, traditions are part of the foundations of what culture really represents, because we're taking some of that tradition that dates back years, thousands of years, to who we are today. So it's basically, to me, the tradition is almost a synonym to culture.
Yeah.
But we use it in a different way because those are the foundations really of each culture. It's those traditions that we have as family, as friends, as people that kind of like, make culture happen. If that makes sense.
Amen.